Hello and welcome back everyone to this channel. We are here with Professor Ervin Laszlo and we're going to talk about these two books, which is The Science and the Akashic Field, first book, and The Immutable Laws of the Akashic Field, which is sort of the all-encompassing book about the Akashic Field. So Ervin, there are many people who heard about the Akashic Field, but can you tell me what is the Akashic Field?
Well, the Akashic Field is not exactly what people heard about it, but it is what science would tell us is the universe as in human experience. We experience the universe as a field. A field is something that continues. It's not broken up. It goes on. And the universe as a field encompasses all the events and all the things that are happening over time and in the space. So the Akashic Field is a field of the appearance of the universe that is maintained, that has memory. That's why it's the Akashic Field, not another field. It could be electromagnetic field. That's also a universal field, gravitational field, and so on. But this is a field that conserves the information of what's happening. It's Akashic. That's why the ancient idea of the Akashic records is that it's something that happened, can be replayed, can be called up again, because it's still there. And in the universe, according to the new sciences, everything that happened is someplace, some way or another, it's maintained in some form.
So, if the past is preserved, does that mean that the future is in the Akashic records as well?
Well, the past has already happened. You can't change it. I don't believe that there are such ideas that you can go back and change the past. No, the past is already done. But the future is not. The future is yet to happen. Now, if this was a universe like a mechanism, then the universe would be determined by the past. Just like in a motion of a machine or of the, let's say, the system of the planetary system is so exactly rigorous, determined that we can foretell what's going to happen, or the movement of the stars and the planets. Reality, other things than the planetary system and the stars, other things on Earth are not so rigorously determined. There are alternative possibilities. And so the past is still present, but the present is not there in the future. The future is open. Otherwise, there will be no interest to living. There will be no reason to be here, to be creative. We can do something in the world. We can change the world by being present in it.
So there's the Akashic Field itself is the same name for everything? Is it because some people say there is a field out there? Even physicists say that there is a field out there, but isn't it like here, like us? We are the field. It's not separate.
And there are many fields. There are local fields, and there are global fields. There are universal fields. And the Akashic Field is a universal memory field. That's how you can define it. See? It's universal because it's there, covers all things that's happening. And it's a field of memory because what's happening doesn't disappear, it's conserved. And so a universal memory field is the Akashic Field.
And is there a way for us to somehow access it?
We can reach information in nature, in the universe, in ways that we don't perceive with our senses. The information in the world, what's happening in the world, is far broader, far deeper than the field of sensory experience. What we see with our eye, what we hear with our ears, what we can touch, what we can smell, and etc. Or what there is actually is a series of vibrations, different levels, different phase, different frequency, and this defines the world as a set of complete system of vibrations. That's the universe, you see. In that nothing is separate from other things. They are all elements of the total vibrational field. And the Akashic Field is an idea of that total vibrational field as it appears to us. So in a sense it's subjective, but on the other way it's objective. It's the subjective appearance of something that is objectively there. If you want to be still purely objective, not relating to human experience, you say this is a universal field, a universal super electromagnetic gravitational alternative energy field. Okay? But to us, that field is presented as a continuous something, a continuous field which creates and maintains all things that happen, which we can go back and pick up again, in principle. In practice, that's not so easy. In practice, it's not possible. But some things we can pick up. We know, for example, under hypnosis, almost anything that happened in the past can be picked up again. We can remember everything. Nothing is completely forgotten, because nothing is completely disappeared, you see. So, in practice, we have a small element, a small part of that total set of events that we call the universe. A small part of that is available to us. We call it the Akashic Field. And with the right frame of mind, with the right state of consciousness, we can go beyond sensory experience and we can remember what has happened at a deeper level, smaller scale, larger scale. We only experience things at a certain scale. Above it and below it, we know that we can deduce it, infer it, that things exist, we don't experience it. The Akashic Field, there is that element that we can access, and by entering and alter an unusual or abnormal, but at the same time very important state of mind, which we call the modified state of consciousness.
Have you experienced this modified state of consciousness?
I think when one enjoys music, which I did in my youth, having been a professional concert artist, that is, puts you into an altered state of consciousness. But since then, when you are between sleep and awakening states, you have such experiences, which are altered state experiences. Great experiences of nature, of beauty, of art also, or, as I said, music, but dance, everything can put you into an altered state of consciousness. Those people who research such states, such as the psychiatrist Stanislav Grof, says very clearly everybody can enter into altered states of consciousness. So we can all experience it. I experience it in music. I experience sometimes when one feels one is in nature, when everything is beautiful and it's perfect. When you see a perfect work of art, and you say, this is just perfect, this is the way things should be. When you feel love, you experience it. These are all experiences of modified states of consciousness, and they bring you beyond the everyday world, and they tell you that there is more to the world than just what you eat and what you drink and what you touch and what you hear.
When you've written these books, both the science on the Akashic Field, you work with other people such as Peter Russell and Stanislav Grof, with the immutable laws of the Akashic Field. We work with Jean Houston and Marianne Williamson as well, and Dr. Maria Saji, and Kingsley Dennis, and Christopher Ph. So all your colleagues are renowned scientists. They have a sort of authority in their field, and they are all offering their take on the Akashic Field. But when you were compiling all this material, were you connected to the Akashic Field? That is this part of your writing process?
Yes, when I write in general, almost always, I don't plan it in advance. I know roughly the ideas I want to communicate, but I don't work it out in advance. I concentrate on what I want to communicate, which can be a feeling, can be a hunch, can be an intuition, not always verbal, articulate. But when I start writing or speaking, I can allow things to develop. And then, even when we talk now, I just allow the answers to come forth. I don't plan it. I don't try to structure it in advance, to define it. So we also, my knowledge with my acquaintance with these people, there are people that you recognize of having kind of experiences that are relevant here. People who are normally said to be spiritual. It doesn't mean that people who just sit around just contemplating the navel. These are scientists, most of these people, yes, psychiatrists or physical scientists, social scientists. Not exclusively. Some can be others. Some can be just business leaders, for example, or social leaders. But these are people who have gone beyond that everyday experience of the everyday sensory world. These are 5 sensory organs. They experience this deeper or wider reality. And as I was writing this book, I tried to contact such people whom I recognize of having had this experience. Call it a spiritual experience. It can be the religious experience, because religion, in a deep sense, when it's not dogma, but when it's really experience, it's also an experience of a reality that is wider and greater than we are. William James, the great philosopher and psychologist, said, yes, the religious experience is to feel that you are part of something greater than yourself. And that is the experience of art also. We are not just logged into our skin and bone. That is a kind of a box, a container. But our mind, our psyche, our consciousness can fly beyond it, can radiate out into space and time, and can encompass almost anything that happens in the world. And these are the people who have had these experiences. By the way, astronauts have this experience. And they come back, they become deeply spiritual persons. But on the everyday world here on Earth, it's not always easy to get by these experiences. Not everybody does. And those people I've worked with had this experience for one reason or another. They've had these experiences, and I wanted to have their advice, their thoughts. And so we wrote the book with their input, with their wisdom included in it.
So basically, when you write, you allow consciousness to flow through you and be connected to the Akashic Field or the field. Is source the same as the Akashic Field, or is that a little bit different, or one comes from the other? What do you think?
I think the source is the universe, and the universe is the experience of the Akashic Field. So the source, in a way, is the Akashic Field, the universe presenting to human consciousness. So to contact the Akashic Field is to get in touch with the universe beyond the perception of our sensory organs. So it's an important experience, because it tells us that we are part of this something greater, something more. And if we align with it, if we work with it, then we don't destroy what is above it, what is here now in the everyday world. Then we can respect the world in its depths. We become actually a deeper person, a more experienced individual who dares to go beyond the everyday world. And we need that experience, because when we have that altered state experience, and this is the experience of psychiatrists like Rolf and lots of other people, Russell and so on, who say that when the people have had the altered state experience, the Akashic experience, never go back to be the everyday persons, petty, selfish, short-sighted persons that they may have been before. They never go back. They remain at a higher or deeper spiritual level.
So you basically wish everyone a connection to the Akashic Field. So that's one way that people can change, and then humanity will change for the better.
But people who change through the experience of this deeper, wider reality, they can radiate their experience, their consciousness to other people around them. It's infectious, the experience, the mentality, the psyche, the psychology, the worldview you might call it, or the paradigm as you might call it. People have had this, they are they can't communicate it to others. As Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. Because when you change, the world changes around you. Other people can feel, can sense that change. In fact, probably the only way you can truly communicate a thought, an idea, an intuition, a feeling, is by undergoing it, not just by sitting back and telling other people around it. So science is important in the sense that they also can talk about things, but science is best when it's experienced, when it allows you to experience. The Akashic Field is an experience. The Akashic experience is the experience of a field. So it's important to have that experience. Go with an open mind to know that what you are going to experience is not wild imagination. It has a truth, a roots in reality. Then you can pick up this experience and change yourself. And by changing yourself, you can change the world around you.
Thank you so much, Ervin. It's so inspiring, and we are encouraging everybody to check out. This is a older book, but this is a bestseller. I think this is a New York Times bestseller, Science in the Akashic Field by Inner Traditions, and the newer version, which is the Immutable Laws of the Akashic Field by St. Martin's Essential. So thank you very much, Ervin.
Thank you, Nora. It was my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.